Hi guys, how we doing? I've just got a smile on my face because I read these comments before I go on the stream, and some of them are quite comical. Let me just make a slight adjustment here before we get into it. There we go. Big bit, get rid of a bit of that shadow. How we doing, guys? Yeah, it's Saturday afternoon in the UK and Saturday all over the world, different times. So right now in Bangkok, it's 21:01. I'm on my own tonight. Marley's not here. She's on another one of her exhibitions, probably finished now, but she'll be back next Saturday anyway. So let's see who's in the stream. Big hi to Donald Trump, as always, the local president. Let's get you up there. Good evening to you, sir. Nice to see you in. Looks like the usual crowd. We've got Ryan Seeger in. Hello, Donald Trump, Peter, and everyone. Fakehead, I'm watching your comments very, very closely. You send me a lot of emails, so I haven't blacklisted you or anything, but be careful because you know what YouTube's like. They're very, very strict, and some of yours are kind of close to the wind, as it were. Crypto Chris, good to see you in. D and Disan, good evening. D, was it you who said that the Hooters girls look quite old in that little 15-second clip that I uploaded in the week? Yeah, they did look slightly older, I must admit. Real Rennie, good morning, everybody, from a sunny winter in Copacabana. Yeah, good stuff. I hear the weather in the UK is quite good at the moment. I think I watched the numbers on the live streams, and they've been slightly down over the last couple of weeks, but that's related to the weather. The UK is my biggest audience at the moment. Second, USA is my biggest audience, followed by the States, Canada, and Thailand for some reason. But yeah, it's the weather's quite good in the UK at the moment, apparently. Let me just turn this straight away. Look, I'm playing with the aircon. There we go. Right, I've got a little bit of an announcement to make later on as well, which you'll find strange. Just wait till we get a few more people in. Over 100 in right now. Let's have a look. Just say hi to Franco, who's moderating in the background. I'll just put the latest comments there. Franco, just let me know. Is the sound coming through okay? Any echoes? Any problems? Damon, you're in. After all that, you're in. Let's get that up there, see what you're saying. Even and Peter finished early so I can watch the stream. Have a great stream. Okay, so I've got a couple of pictures of one of me and Damon in Tree Town and one of Damon with his getting ready for a stream, and I'll put them up in a little while as well. I've got tonight as well. I've got a treat for you. I've got some old pictures again, from four from Pattaya and one from Bangkok from 1968, right by Soi 4, Sukhumvit. So I'll show you that. Hi to, let me just check the sound. Right, can somebody let me know just if the sound's okay, no echoes, everything's cool. I'm just waiting for the latest comment to let me know. Sometimes I put the wrong, okay, there we go. Franco, handsome man there, all okay. Okay, good. Right, I think we're okay. All right, let's go back. What a week it's been. Do you know what it is? Let me just say hi to a few more people, then we'll get into what we're talking about. Jim, how you doing, mate? I understand you're counting down. You're on your way back soon, aren't you? Was it a month? You said, was that you? I'm sure it was you. Yeah, it was you. I remember. My memory's terrible. Good to have you in, Jim. No name. 4 months today. I leave for Bangkok. Okay, 4 months. What we're doing: July, August, September, October, November. You'll be coming out about the same time as my daughters. George, we missed you last week. You weren't in the stream last week. I can see you there tonight. Very, very good to have you in again. Mike Braithwaite, hit the like button. Yeah, agree with that. I'll put that up there. And while I'm at it, the pound is doing well. All the exchanges at the moment are doing pretty good. We're nearly up to 45 baht to the pound now. There's the conversions below there. I'll leave that on there for a little while. Nick J. Hi all, managed to catch the stream live for the first time. Hi Nick, I get my Nicks confused. Is this Nick who I went out for a beer with in Pattaya, or is this another Nick, the Nick from New York? Brad Hamilton, sound is great. Okay, good stuff. Let me get, who's that there? Shane O'Traveller. How you doing, Shane? I had Shane on the stream long time ago. Must have been a good 18 months ago now. Haven't forgot. You're still driving those. Was it tram cars? But I think it was trams, wasn't it? In Australia, there, Shane. Good to have you in. And I notice you always leave a comment on the stories and everything. So yeah, nice to see you again. Brad Hamilton sound is great. Nick J sound is great. Reggae vibes. It's fine. Okay, so we won't talk about the sound anymore. Joe Dirt, hello from Chiang Mai. Hi, Joe. How you doing? So it's you'll be probably sitting on a balcony with cold Chiang somewhere, I guess. Right, a name I don't recognise. Omar Zanders. Hello, Peter. This is Omar Zanders from America. Hi, Omar. Good to have you in the stream. Is it your first time in? I think it is. Just started. We've got about we go to about 10:30, 15-minute break. Then we have the member stream where we have a ladyboy competition and a manga minute and all the rest of the stuff we used to do. Okay, right. Let me say hi to Ken Christopherson from Denmark. It's raining cats and dogs here. Only 16 degrees here. Hope you guys are good. Well, that's strange because right now in Thailand it's supposed to be the rainy season, and we have had some torrential rain, but very, very little. Normally, and it's July now, so this is when it really should start going. Normally, it goes for about an hour in the evening. Sometimes it could be like 6 till 7. You'll hear a noise when you're watching TV, 8 till 9. And you look outside, it's like 20,000 hose pipes. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down here, it really comes down. But it's been pretty good. We haven't had too much rain. I'm actually going over to Simon's tomorrow. My friend Simon, he lives about 30 minutes away in Bangwa, which takes about 30 to 40 minutes. And I normally drive over there, but I like going around. I like going on the scooter. So I'm going to go over there on the scooter tomorrow, pick up some bread for him. And then I'm going over there for Sunday lunch. So I'm hoping, fingers and toes crossed, that it doesn't rain. You know what the UK, what the English are like. We love to talk about the weather. Right. Let me see. Happy Pat, how are you doing? Hi Peter. Nice to pass a moment with here from France. You're in France. Yeah, I don't know. Hi Peter. Nice to pass a moment with here. Right. So if you're in France, I don't envy you. It's all over the news. Let's not get into it, but yeah, I don't envy you if you're in France. Wasn't that an awful story? I'm sure everybody's heard about it now, but the lady who came into Dong Muang Airport and she was on one of those moving, it's like an escalator. Well, it is an escalator. And somehow she tripped and she got caught in the escalator, actually amputated her leg. I mean, bloody awful. How many times have you been going through an airport and you've been stood going up or down on an escalator on one of those flat sidewalks, not a care in the world, just thinking, okay, I hope my cab's outside, or I hope, I'll be home in an hour, or whatever's going through your mind. And next thing you know, you've lost a leg, and the pain, can you imagine the pain? No anesthetic, just bang. Really feel for the woman. Awful story. If you haven't heard about that, which I'm sure everybody has, it was a lady coming through Dongmuan Airport last week or early in the week. Her leg got caught in an escalator and it actually ripped her. They had to it actually took off her leg, or just about. So, yeah, terrible. Anton Carradine. Oh crap! I spilled egg yolk on my keyboard. Okay, not to worry. Let me just get rid of this because it can be quite annoying. And I'll just do a little bit of self-promotion here for a minute, if you don't mind. Right, okay. Jimmy, let's get that up there as well. Jimmy Arc Theodore, is it? Peter, did you hear about the kick streamers who got arrested? Ice poison, thought arrested. Kick streamers. No, was that the guy who had supposedly 50 policemen in Thailand? I'm probably on a different wavelength, but did you hear about the kick streamers? I haven't. The words kick streamers don't come into. I've not heard of. Right, the only one I heard that got arrested last week or the week before was that guy in Thailand who got 50 supposed police, and they were playing kind of hide and seek in a disused building that they weren't supposed to be in, and then he got arrested, and that's the only one. But let me know if it's something different to that. I'll read it out. Brian Bain. Thanks for being gracious when I interrupted your lunch. Weatherspoons. The waitress seemed a little bit miffed when I didn't want anything. That's fine. That's fine. There's absolutely not a problem with that. I mean, when you're in the public forum, I'm not, obviously I'm not a star or anything. I just got a YouTube channel, but sometimes from time to time, people notice you, and no problem at all. It's good to say hello to you. I actually like it when people come up and say hello. Especially if I'm not on my own. Because it gives me a good, But yeah, nice to hear from you. Right. Just came through Dong Mong this afternoon. None of the moving walks way were on. Well, it's not surprising, is it? But if you came through Dong Mong, where were you coming from? Because I thought generally that's not international flights any longer, is it? It's just cargo and domestic. So did you come through domestic? Kick TV. Kick TV, are we live, dudes? We certainly are live, Kicks TV, as live as we can be anyway. Right, fake Ed's gear amputated in airport mishap. I'd rather lose a little. Okay, well, we'll leave that one. Let me just get rid of my self-promotion here. We've done the race. Okay, where are we now? Just threw me off a little bit, that one. Right, okay. So I've made a decision this week. Let me tell you, we've got 166 in. We've been going for nearly a quarter of an hour. So let me tell you what's been going on, what I've done this week, and it's been really difficult. I've actually decided to totally give up drinking alcohol. Okay, I know there's others who have done it. It's very difficult. I've done it before, and I'll tell you the backstory to why I've done it. I'm on day. Hang on, let me just think. I went to Pattaya Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hang on. Okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Pattaya. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday today, isn't it? So this is my fourth day with no alcohol. So what happened when I was in the UK? I was drinking well, I wasn't drinking too much. I was stressed out with the wife and the kids and all the rest of it. You know the story. I don't need to go through it all again. And when I got here, I left all that behind. I'm in a nice apartment. I got some beers and whiskey and everything from 7-Eleven. You see me on the chat here before I'm drinking and enjoying it. But it got to the point because I was enjoying it so much, I didn't realize it was actually taking over my life here and over the last sort of 3 months. Because what's happened is I'm quite happy not to go out drinking. I know that sounds weird, but I'm quite happy not to go out drinking in bars and stuff occasionally, with a friend or whatever, or I'll go down to Pattaya. Um, but most nights of the week I'd do a bit of filming outside, I'd do some editing, make some dinner, go and have a swim in the pool upstairs, come down, come 9 o'clock, I'd crack open 2-3 cans of Leo every night. I would have shots of whiskey, maybe a third of a bottle of whiskey, or and this was going on every night. So I noticed the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks or so, I've been kind of waking up. These glasses are glaring a bit, aren't they? I was waking up kind of groggy, and I'd wake up at 8, and I think, oh well, I don't need to get up. What's there to get up for? And I'd get in, and it was, oh, this is nice, and I'd end up sleeping till nearly 12, and then I got to this point where I couldn't sleep without a drink. And I thought, this is weird because I've always said I didn't want to become an alcoholic. I've always made a big thing of that, and I've never drank in the day, and that's been my golden rule, how I haven't become an alcoholic. But what happened was, I had a couple of nights where I didn't feel like drinking, and I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. And it got to about 2 in the morning. I went to bed at 12, and I got up and had a couple of shots of whiskey just to go to sleep. And this started to become a habit where I had to drink every night just to go to sleep. So I had to think about it, and I've got a problem with my leg at the moment. It's still not better. It's getting better, but it's still not there. So I was drinking every night. The money's not really an issue because it's so cheap to buy drink at a 7-Eleven here, unless you're living on a really extreme tight budget, it's not an issue. And I'm actually going to make a video about this and explain it all properly. But what I was doing, I've got a 7-Eleven across the road here, and I was stocking up my fridge every day. 5 o'clock, oh, better get some beers in, stocked up. 9 o'clock, I'm in front of this TV, and I couldn't function with that. Well, I say I couldn't function. I mean, when it got to say 10, if I hadn't had a drink, that was all I was thinking about. I've got to get a beer. Where can I get a beer? And I was just thinking, well, it's just for relaxing. I'm on my own. I've had the stress with the family, but it's just gone too far now. And I just decided enough's enough. And what was the nail on the coffin? What was the final nail in the coffin? I went down to Pattaya last Sunday. So I like to get all the stories, everything done. And then I'll either make some videos with Marley in the week, or I will get back to the comic, guys. Let me just explain this. I'll either, like, I'm going to be making a video with Marley on Wednesday. I like to get everything done and dusted by Sunday. Then I'm free. And if I want to go to Pattaya for 2 or 3 days, I can do. And what happened is I went down there and I met some people down there. And I met a nice guy who I've been meaning to meet for a long time, called Grant, and his lovely wife. And we went out and he treated me to dinner in the Pattaya beer garden. And I went back and I just didn't feel like going out to bars. I had a nice steak. I had a steak. It was good company. He like dragged me down to Walking Street to one bar. I think I've got a picture of it here. I'll show you the picture after. So he dragged me down to Walking Street to that frog complex. We had one drink, and because I'd bloated, I thought, I don't want any more. And I thought, I just don't want to go out tonight. This is about 9:30, and I had drink in the room. Okay, so this was what made the final decision, because when you drink, sometimes you do stupid things, right? So I said to Grant, I said, look, Grant, I can't handle this. I've got to get back. I'm bloated. I'm hot. I need a shower. Went back, had a shower. Just happened to be a good movie start on TV, and I thought, oh, this is all right. I'll just stay and watch a movie. Got to about 10:30. Dinner went down. I had a bottle of whiskey unopened on the side, and mixers and all the rest of it. And I'm in the room and I'm pouring the whiskey quite freely. I ended up drinking an entire bottle of whiskey in the room on my own, right? 70 cl bottle of whiskey. Didn't think nothing of it. Anyway, I was driving back to Bangkok the next day. Woke up and drove back, and I felt okay, but I was tired, really tired, more than I normally am. And I got back here about 3, chucked all the washing in the machine. About 5 o'clock, I started feeling like I wanted to be sick, really wanted to be sick. Went in the bathroom, wham, out it came, right? It was like a full, Huey, right down the drain, as it were. And I just vomited and then sat down in front of the TV. 10 minutes later, I had an overwhelming feeling like I'm going to vomit. went to the toilet. Of course, there's nothing inside my gut, and you're reaching, right? Ugh, ugh, nothing coming out. And of course, your ribs in your stomach. Well, to cut a long story short, that went on till about 10 o'clock at night. I hadn't eaten. I had breakfast in Pattaya before I left in Soy 7. And normally I'd have something to eat 5, 6 o'clock. I hadn't eaten because I felt so really bad, really bad. And I honestly thought I had food poison. I thought I must have eaten something. It must have been the steak last night because all the symptoms were there. I was sweating. I felt hot. I was vomiting every 10 minutes, running in the bathroom. And I just, I felt awful. And about 10 o'clock, I had a bowl of soup. That was nice. And then I settled down. The next day, I felt slightly sick. So I thought, well, it wasn't food poisoning. It was alcoholic poisoning. I drank a whole bottle of whiskey, and I'd actually put my body couldn't get rid of it fast enough, and it was trying to make me vomit. Or it was coming out all the foresters, if it makes sense. Anyway, I sat down and thought about the next day, and I thought, this isn't life. This isn't the way to live. It's one thing going out for a social beer now and again, and I thought, I'm going to just have to go cold turkey. I've done it before, and it's really hard. And the hardest thing about it is when you give up alcohol, when you're a drinker, if you drink every night, the hardest thing is not like, oh, I've got to have a drink. I've got to have a drink. Once you've made that decision, I've got a kitchen full of drink here, because for me, if I throw everything out the house and I haven't got any drinks in the house, it gets to a point I think I want to have a drink. If I know there's nothing here, I start panicking and I've got to get out and find some drink. But because I know I've got bottles of whiskey, cans of beer, I took them out of the fridge, they're in the cupboard. But because I know it's here, it's psychological. I know it's here, so I won't touch it. And the hardest thing is the habit, because you're sitting there watching TV, and then you can't have a drink. I mean, look, I'm sitting here with a pint of water. And then when you go to bed, when you're pissed, when you've had a good bit to drink, I don't mean paralytic, but I mean, you're fairly drunk. You get up, you go into bed, and within 1 second, your head hits a pillow, you're out like a light. Okay. Well, that doesn't happen when you're sober, of course. So you get into bed and you're laying awake, and because the chemicals in the chemicals in your brain have to change, and it takes 3 or 4 or 5 days, maybe 7 days, and the side effects is you start to sweat, and it's quite rough. And I'm on day 4 now, and I slept pretty okay last night, but the first 2 days I gave up. I laid awake till 6 in the morning. Then I was asleep all afternoon on the sofa, and then the night after that, I went in. I was having a couple of nights, and it was really awful. But I've just about got over the worst of it now, and I'm really glad about it. I've made the decision. Like I say, it's not about saving money. It's cheap to drink here in Thailand if you buy from 7-Eleven. It's the cheapest drug in the world, isn't it, alcohol? But I've made the decision. I've now totally given up, I hope, and I've just got to get used to it. And already I can feel the benefits. I can't get into real specifics at the moment, but it's only been 4 days, but already I don't feel groggy. I don't feel tired. My legs starting to feel better. And then, of course, the second good thing that comes out of that is when I used to drink in the evenings on the sofa, it gets to about 11 o'clock. Well, I've got the munchies then, and I've got a cupboard full of and a fridge full of food, and I eat something, go to bed, and it was a vicious cycle. I'd wake up in the morning and think, oh, I mustn't drink tonight. I mustn't drink, and then I'd drink at 6, 7, 9 o'clock, and I think, well, if I drink, I mustn't eat at the end of the night. But once you've had that final beer and you're a bit pissed, you just don't care. I'm ordering pizzas, and it's just terrible. So that's what I've done. I'm just letting you know about it because it's going to give me more motivation not to start again now. Because if I've now sat and told you all this and then I start drinking again, I look like a prat, right? So I'm not saying I'm giving up for good, but I'd like to think at least 6 months, and then I might start drinking socially again. The odd beer. I won't keep any alcohol in the. Eventually, when I'm over it, I'll chuck all the alcohol out. And if I go out for a meal and I have a beer, fair enough. But it's just that's it now. And if anybody else is in the same boat as me and you want a bit of advice, let me know, and I'll tell you what. How I did it. Okay, right. Alcoholics Anonymous. That's sorted out. Let's go back to some of the comments. I'm trying to. I'll go way back. Trying to just. I don't like to not say hi to everyone. Okay, let's start. I did Joel Dirt from Omar. Let's go down. Right, Thai Farang in Arizona, watching you from the Melvin Hotel on Edgermeyer. Okay, Thai Farang, good to have you in. Not out on the town here in Bangkok. Okay, Scotty FNQ. My first live ex-Aussie sailor heading to Pattaya for my first tour as a civvy in November. Scotty, take plenty of cash with you because a lot to spend it on there, but you'll have a good time. Michael Redmond, hey, once Peter, once from Seoul. Hi, Michael. Seoul, North Korea, South Korea. Uh, Visited once. Phil T, evening, Peter from a wet Melbourne, 10C. Joe Dirt, rained only once in 18 days. Is that the UK or the Thailand here? Side Boys, hello, Peter. Michael Maxon, greetings from Boston. How is the smog? We haven't got any at the moment. It's pretty good. It was 3 months back. The sky was yellow, but it's been quite windy the last sort of week or so, so it's kind of blown it away. It's pretty good at the moment. Javier, how are you doing? Peter, any plans to visit Pattaya again this month? I'm going back to Thailand in a couple of weeks. The thing is with Pattaya, Javier, because it's so easy to get to. I mean, where I live on near the Nana. If you're a guy who comes here quite often, you'll know I'm near the Nana BTS, right? Well, if you head away, if you're on Sukhumvit and you head towards from the Nana BTS towards, say, Nana Plaza, and then the road kind of takes a kink to the right, and then just after Soi 1, after the Bummingrad Ho, there's a highway there. Well, that's where I get on the highway to go down to Pattaya. So, and the highway's brilliant. The road's so good going down to Pattaya. You know, if you take the toll, which is a couple of $100, but it's worth it. So I don't know, Jabby. I do it on the spur of the moment. You know, I mean, I'm going over to Simon's tomorrow for lunch, but if I wasn't, I might think I'll go down tomorrow. And I paid 900 baht for a room in the where I like to stay is the Flipper House on Soi 7. Rooms are really clean. I really like it. But yeah, it'd be nice to meet up. You've been Javier. You've been in the streams for a good few years now, haven't you? What do you think of Marley, guys? She's not watching tonight. She's not here. At the beginning, when I brought Marley in, there was a lot of negativity. You know, one guy said, "Oh, it's like a Friday night. You go to the pub with all your friends, and then suddenly one of the guys brings his wife, and it's not the same." And I do get that, which is why I'm doing a stream every other week. But I just think the videos that we do together, you know, like the airport and the IT fortune, they're not the most detailed videos in the world. You know, there's YouTubers out there who take you through ABC 1, 2, 3, and they tell you every little thing. Ours are a kind of general guide how to get to the airport and that. But I just think she's quite bubbly, she's quite funny, and I just think she brings something new into the channel. I mean, how are you getting on now with her? You know, I mean, a lot of guys, like I say, didn't take to her. Some guys she's winning over. I've had her about a month now. I'll give her another couple of months, then I'll reevaluate it. But I think she's doing okay. What do you think? Honestly, she's not here, so she's not listening. Nanoy, has anyone from Lufthansa flight? Let me put that up there. I'm not sure what that it means. Has anyone from Lufthansa flight September man Bangkok in Munich 497 or 23 kg? Not quite sure what the question is, but most economies, most airlines, you buy an economy seat with, it's generally 23 kilos. Yeah, you're right. Right, Nick J, we're talking about the lady at the airport again. Didn't they amputate her leg at the site? More than likely, Nick. My point was that she got caught in the elevator and it kind of ripped her leg off as near as can be, and they probably had to finish off and tidy her up. At the end of the day, whether she lost her leg there or you know, I mean, look, you think about it really. If it was in a Western country, the amount of money she would get for losing a leg, you know, I mean, obviously she's going to get something from the airport, but how much? You know, if that was in the States, for instance, it's not worth your leg, but she'd be a multi-millionaire after the settlement, wouldn't she? Okay, let's get down to some of these newer ones. Okay, good information there. Crypto Chris says loads of international flights at Dongmong and most cargo goes to Bangkok. Okay, well I don't know everything. See, not assumed. I'd heard that because I used to use the old Dongmong airport for years and years and years coming into Thailand. I loved it. I thought it was a great airport, a lot more relaxed than the current one. And the lighting was very low key, so a bit more relaxing. But as I understood it, it was you know, it's just flights, domestic flights and cargo. But okay, so you put me right there. I know. Right, Soy Dog. Hi from Udon Thani. Went to Udon Thani once, long time ago. I remember having a good time there. But yeah, hi Soy Dog. Good to have you in. Okay, so I'll put that up. I won't read it out. I don't know about that one. Shane says dry July. Matthew, hi Peter. I finally catch the live stream. Love Marley, by the way. Great idea. Keep switching. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, you can't really switch from girl to girl because it's really hard to find somebody like Marley. Because the problem is, like, I'll repeat this now: either they're good looking and they don't speak a word of English, or they speak good English but look like the back end of a bus, or they're pretty and they speak English but they've got no personality. You know, they're boring. To find somebody like her who's, you know, she's not Miss World, but she's got looks and she's funny and her English is of a decent level. I like the comment Marley said to the guy. One guy wrote in on live stream. He said, "I can't understand what you're saying." She said, "Well, it's easy. Learn Thai then." You know. Uh, right, here we go. Fashion police. Ryan Seeger. I know you're only joking. Peter, 5 out of 10 for this shirt. Yeah, so this is a 200 baht special from Pattaya. I've got to lose a bit of weight as well, haven't I? Look, a little porky here. Hang on, let's get comfortable. Right, okay. Chris says you're doing a steady Eddie. I don't watch him anymore because apparently he got upset with me or he got upset with a bunch of us. I don't know the whole story, but I haven't watched him for ages. But somebody did tell me he gave up the drink. So I suppose I am. I suppose I am. Uh, say hello from Istanbul. That's Ahmet Tamar. How you doing, Istanbul? I never been there. Heard it's a lot of fun. Bear with me, guys. Somebody's sending me something here. It might be something about the. Okay. Right. Where are we? Bernie, how you doing? Bernie in the house, looking forward to an excellent stream. Hi, Bernie. I haven't been to that restaurant for a week and a half. I think they put a lot of salt in the dal, so I've been giving it a miss lately. Right, Nick J says, well done, Peter. Red Sweeney has been off the booze for over 3 months. Yeah, that's good. The last time I did it, it was I did 14 months because I told you the story, didn't I? I was sitting there drinking one night. This is where my wife. Let me just get my old hooter because I'm going to be picking my nose all night. I get itchy on the stream. I was with my wife and I was having a beer one night. She says, "You're an alcoholic," and I said, "No, I'm not. I can give up any time." She says, "No, you can't. You drink every night." So I said, "All right, I'll prove it." And I stopped drinking for 14 months. And then one Sunday afternoon in a nice summer, I said, I'm going to go to the co-op and get 4 beers. And she said, "Oh, I told you." I said, "It's been 14 months. I've given up smoking. You don't let me sleep with you anymore. I don't want to be a priest, so I'm going to go and buy some cans." Um, Bernie, thank you. Sylvester, hello, Peter. Sylvester, folks from Alabama. Yes, we'll put you up there all the way from Alabama. I've been to the States a couple of times, never been to Alabama. I've always got this cliche vision of those old movies, those racial tension sort of movies, but I'm sure it's not like that really in real life. No name. Yes, I follow a smaller channel that's Parties with Chris Travels. Surprised it's getting airtime. I don't understand. No. Yes, I follow a smaller channel that Parties with Chris Travel. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. The YouTuber that is. Kev. I stopped drinking alcohol every 10 years. I stopped drinking alcohol over 10 years ago. Don't miss it all. Feel much better, healthier in mind and body. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. And I am giving it my best shot now. And as I say, it's been 4 days now. And actually, all the videos I looked at, they generally said if you can get over the first sort of 3 to 4 days, then you've licked it. I nearly succumbed last night. I couldn't sleep. I'll be honest with you. I was laying in bed, tossing and turning, more turning than tossing. And I just couldn't sleep, and I thought, a good decent shot, I'll go straight off. And I was laying there, and I thought, should I just have a shot and then, carry on? And I thought, no, because what will happen is I'll just try to justify it and say, well, I'll have one shot every night before I sleep, and then what will happen is that one shot will become 2 shots, 3 shots. Then I'll think, well, I don't want to get too pissed, so I'll have a beer with it, and I'll be back to normal. So I just thought, no. And what I did, I got up. This is about 2 o'clock in the morning. I got up, I turned the PC on, and I wrote this. I edited the stories that I would normally do on a Saturday morning. I edited them at 2 o'clock in the morning for next week. I turned it off at 4 o'clock, and I had a decent sleep. I went to sleep at 4 and woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, brilliant. If you are a drinker and you decide to give up, never try to justify it by saying I'll just have one, or I'll cut down, or I'll only have it after 9, because it just doesn't work. It's either yes or no. You either drink or you don't drink. That's if you're I call myself a conditioned drinker, meaning I can drink every night, but I can function normally. But I now call myself a non-drinker. Right. Scout Sandy 71, how you doing? Crypto Chris Card. The trick is cutting down, is not drinking at home. Yeah, a lot of people have told me that. But I think, if you do drink at home and you want to get out of that habit, I think what you got to do is you've got to give yourself a minimum of, I'd say, 6 months of not having anything at home. Then when you go out, you have a little drink, come back, and okay, it's hard because you've enjoyed it. You think, oh, I wouldn't mind, but then you say, no, not at home, and then you'll get out of that habit of, like you say, Chris, drinking at home. Mark, how are you doing? Haven't seen you for a few weeks. Hello, Peter. Just finished the Sunday Stories video. Great stories this week. I particularly like the one from the Indian guy who the little girl called him daddy because he was quite kind to her. He took her for sweets and things like that. And, it was just a nice story. And yeah, if I'd been in his shoes, I probably would have done the same. Okay. Kev, the best drink is fresh coconut. I was a bit disappointed. I was in jump team the other night and I thought, well, I was with somebody. I thought, where should I go for dinner? I thought, there's a nice, where that windmill thing is, about halfway down jump team. They've got a kind of food, not a sit. Yeah, they've got tables at the front, but they're like alleyways with food on each side. And I bought a coconut. I rarely buy a coconut, and it was hard inside. The milk was nice, but you couldn't peel it off, and it was 40 baht. I just, I won't buy one from there again. Um, Paulie Buffalo says, I limit myself to one drink at home. No issues that way. The problem is, I'm not a grey areas person. It's either black or white, do or die. There's no in betweens. I can't have one drink at home. If I drink at home, I drink until I fall into bed. So it's better I don't have it. Paul Hoskin. Uh, I don't have a drink problem. I like it. Fair enough, Paul. Fair enough. If you just joined us, hi, 240 in Saturday afternoon streaming the UK and Saturday wherever elsewhere. Okay, I'll get through a few more of these and I'll show you some pictures and we'll do some bits and pieces in a minute. Are you still there, Damon? Right, Joe Drink. Yeah, Joe Dirt. That's an issue. When I was in the UK, I quit drinking. It's cheaper and have no hangovers. It's not that cheap to drink in the UK like it is here. But a bottle of that, is it 269 or whatever it's called? Is it about it's about £7? It's so cheap. Lee Hughes, Peter, where's your hat? Get it on for the haters, or should we call them hatters? Yeah, yeah. It's like when I'm out and about, I don't do sunglasses. I don't like shades. I don't know. I think they don't look right on me. So what I do, obviously. It's not too bad this time of year, but when you're out and about, the sun's quite strong in the daytime when you're out making videos, and just having a peak on a cap saves a lot of all this sort of business. And I had people writing in and saying, oh, throw that hat in the bin, it looks pathetic, and why are you wearing a hat and all that. So yeah, that's what that's all about. Nick J, I've given up the booze for 5 years now. I feel like I've got an extra 12 hours per day instead of being hangover all day. I tell you what I have noticed, Nick, I got really the munchies all the time now. Like I'd normally not eat anything in the morning. I'd have something normal at lunchtime, like a baked potato or a couple of bits of toast. My main meal was about 6 p.m. and then I'd have something at midnight after I drank. But what I found is I'm just hungry all the time. Dinner time, I had my dinner and then I had some beans on toast. And then 2 hours later, I had some cornflakes, 2 bowls of cornflakes. I've just got the munchies now. I think what it is, there's a lot of sugar in alcohol, especially beer, and your body notices when you cut it out and it's trying to replenish it. But that's another problem I can deal with later. Let's deal with the drink first. Um, Ben, drinking to sleep is a slippery slope. I've not got pissed since I was 30 and now 45. You won't miss it. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I do notice even, just over a few days, I do notice when I wake up in the morning, I'm tired, but it's a different kind of tired. It was like I was it took me, I sound like a real old alcoholic, one of the worst of the worst, but I'm not really. It was just in the evenings, but I was just drinking too much. Uh, Kicks TV, bad hangover here today. Got here from the mist at 6:30. Good stuff. Let me just see how far I am. 9:14. Not too bad, not too bad. Right, and Tony, what you saying? Eddie, well done. You don't need alcohol to have a great life. You're confusing me with someone else. I'm not. That's another channel. I'm Peter. But anyway, thanks for that. Did you meet Trevor in Pattaya? I didn't. I didn't meet him because the thing is, when you have a YouTube channel, they're all most of the guys who do YouTube channels, they go out and do their own thing. And the last thing you want to, I've met Trevor a couple of times, but when I go down there, I've got friends and I relax, and I just want to get away from the whole YouTube scene, because it's a full-time job, and it's the same for Trevor or any of them. Trevor does videos out and about in the main part of Pattaya, but he doesn't live there. I mean, and other YouTubers I know down there, they've got their life. We have a life, right? So no, I didn't meet him. I've met him plenty of times. Matthew, the trouble is water and a slice of lemon don't give you Dutch courage. Good luck. Yeah, true. Paul Hoskin, everything in moderation. Gotta have them big, gotta have them black. Paul Hoskin, I don't have a ladyboy problem. I limit. So, oh my God. Right. Okay. Right. Shane O Traveller. The dries will call it, and to make fitness correct drinking. Yeah. Okay. Um, Martin Ryder, don't give up booze. I was bad enough when Eddie went on the wagon. Okay. Anton, drinking water is very healthy. Let me just talk about Pattaya a little bit because I just come back obviously on Wednesday, and people are always asking, "Is it dead? Is it busy?" Well, this time it was actually dead. I mean, well, no, it was. Let me rewind. It wasn't dead. Like people leave remarks on forums say, "Oh, Pattaya's dead. There's no one there." Well, it's never like that in Pattaya. You've always got people in Pattaya. Let me just stick up a little posy picture from when I was there last week. This is taken in Walking Street, and you can see there. Look, looking quite blary-eyed, but you can see Walking Street. That's actually very quiet for Walking Street. There's not a lot of people there. And a lot of the time, the people who were going through Walking Street were just basically what I call non-spenders. They were either people just walking around with their eyes, looking at the girls outside. And you had a lot of Chinese tourist groups with a woman in a flag, and they don't spend a penny down there. And yeah, let me just put this picture up with young Damien and me. Where are we? Haven't don't say I haven't uploaded it. Oh, I got a nice picture of me and David having a drink, and I can't seem to. Let me just see if I can find it. Hang on, because it's otherwise. There we are. Let me upload that. Right, I didn't upload it. Okay. What else? Yeah, this is yeah, this was a good night. This is Damon and me in Treetown. I mean, you can see I put really a lot of weight on in my face there. Look quite fat, that's just come the last few weeks. Damon looking like a sick maniac there, but he's actually a nice guy. And yeah, we were there with Damon's girlfriend and myself. It was quite a nice night. And Damon also sent me this in. How do you fancy this? Right, some cock flavored noodle soup. That's something to get the old taste buds going, isn't it? Cock noodle. I think it really the translation is really chicken flavored noodle soup, but you don't expect to see that in your local supermarket. Cock flavored soup. No, thank you. I'll stick to Heinz tomato. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Onward and upwards. Where are we? Where are we? Let's find where we are. Jeff, Martin Ryder, how are you doing? I missed the start. Why are you giving up? Anyone? If you're talking about alcohol, I'm not going to go back over there. You have to rewind. Right, Paul Hoskins, I only drink until the girls go blurry. Jeff D decided I was going back to the 1990s. Oh, let me just, no, I'll show them pictures later. I've got some older pictures. Let me put that up from Jeff D there. He says, I decided I was going back to the 1990s. Give up drinking about 2 years ago, started lifting and jogging again. Feel so much better. So glad I quit, and you won't regret it. Yeah, I know where you're coming from there, because when I gave up for 14 months, I was walking Benji, and I got so much fitter. The problem for me is my sleep pattern's disrupted. I'm used to going into bed and just whack, I'm out. And the other thing is, it's really hard, because it's like when I gave up smoking, when the phone used to ring, the first thing I used to do is I used to light a cigarette, and then I'd pick up the phone, and when I gave up, when the phone rang, it was like, oh, I don't smoke. So it's just give it a while. I've only just started, haven't I? Or stopped. Um, yeah, okay, good explanation. He had a whole bottle of spirits in his room alone and then was sick. Martin Ryder, yeah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't like a typical alky where I've got a bottle, I'm gonna down that now. Oh, and the worst thing is I can't. I'll tell you what happened after that in the member stream, because I drank a bottle of whiskey, but something worse than that happened to me when I left the hotel, involving females. I don't want to tell it in the general stream here. So when we do the member stream at 10:30, I always talk about things that I don't talk about here for obvious reasons, because I get guys here who just want to listen to what I say and then report it to different people, including YouTube. So I'll tell you what happened. I drank a whole bottle of whiskey. I was absolutely paralytically pissed. I left the hotel and all mayhem broke loose. But I wasn't stupid, but it broke loose. Kevin Afton, how you doing? Cy London, she was great. We're talking about Marley. I hope I get some positive feedback about Marley. Yeah, okay, Martin. Sounds like the average day for you. Mike Braithwaite, yes, she's been a breath of fresh air. That's good. That's good. Give her a break, guys. Give her a break. Um, okay, Hugh Jazz. I like how you are doing Marley every other week. I would keep at it. Well, I'd rephrase that. How I'm doing Marley every other week. She's a nice girl. She's a nice girl. And like I keep saying this every week. There is nothing between us. Honestly, guys. She's it's purely YouTube. Um, Marley is cool, says Reggae Vibes. Okay, so I must be way behind in the comments now, because I asked this question about 20 minutes ago. Ken Christopherson, Marley is great, funny, give her a chance. 2 thumbs up for Marley. That's from Got have them big. Thank you. I'll give her this feedback tomorrow. Matthew, Marley is great fun. Her English will improve, but she's not familiar with the bar scene. Well, years ago, she used to work in a hostess bar on Soy 11. We'll leave it at that. Um, Okay, diplomatic there. Kevin Wilson, thank you. Bob Gray, Marley is cute. Richard Hollis, Marley is great. The Chinatown video was great fun. I like doing the bloopers at the end, because you can't normally do them on a video. And because we both make a lot of cock-ups, but I've managed to do it in such a way now where it comes across as quite good. And like somebody actually mentioned, they said when you do the bloopers, it actually shows a YouTuber what they actually really do. Because when you put out YouTube video, normally it comes out fairly slick, doesn't it? It's all edited music and it flows and it's okay. Most of them are okay, including mine. But when you see that, oh, that didn't quite go as smoothly there, and Molly's stamping her feet because she's frustrated, and guys come in and look in the camera and start laughing and stuff. It gives you a bit of an insight, doesn't it? Look, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to the latest comments because I've slipped right behind in the comments here. Let me just get rid of that, and I'll work my way back up. Okay, so if I've missed your comments, I'm sure I'll get back at them. If not, write them again. Right. Right. No. Will Marley be eating and kissing bananas again? No, we had a directors meeting about that one, and we've just the minutes of the day. We've decided that's going out the window. Right, CT. Where are we? I missed you. There we are. CT. The videos with Marley are great. The streams flow better just with you, Peter. Yeah, I kind of feel that. I brought Marley into the streams, and I don't want to kind of say, look, you're not doing the streams anymore because it'll upset her, right? But it is a lot easier for me to do the streams by myself because I'm sitting here in the comfort of my apartment. I've got aircon. I was about to say a beer, but I've got my faithful glass of O2 here. But it flows, because I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about. I know where I'm going. I can read the comments, and it's kind of non-stop flowing. When I'm with Marley, okay, it's a different kind of stream, but sometimes she's hard working. She can be a bit irritating because I'm kind of trying to get something across, and she's kind of, oh, I'm hungry. I want to go 7-Eleven. I'm like, we're doing a stream. Don't talk about 7-Eleven, But she'll get better as the weeks go on. And she's already improved a lot. Okay, uh, naughty boy. Um, Aussie dollar is terrible. I went through like toilet paper when when it was in soy 33. Is it? Is it the Aussie dollar's terrible? Because most of the other currencies have come up quite a bit towards the bar, towards the bar. Look, if you're coming into the member stream later, because you know what my memory's like, remind me to tell you the aftermath of drinking a bottle of whiskey and then going outside in soy 7. Because I'm not going to say it here, but I will in the members, and just say hi to a new member there, Steve Carmichael. Steve Carmichael became a YouTube member. Okay, great stuff. You can always cancel again, can't you? You can always join then cancel if it's not for you. It's only a £5 a month, something like that. Chris, yeah, thank you, Chris. You say love the bloopers. Okay, brilliant. Marley T says Marley has looks, intelligence, and brings a nice Thai flair to your streams of vlogs. What more can I ask for? Dutch Frank, why is there a diaper on the floor? The diaper on the floor bit doesn't get me. Diaper on the floor? No diaper on the floor here. Right, Robster. GP Tybart has smashed a previous high of 447. Next target 45. It'd be great. Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? Would be great. I remember when I used to fly here, I got 79 baht to the pound. Can you imagine that? Oh, okay. So Shane Travis says, Peter, who's the girl in the right button corner? So what that is, that's a watermark. So when you've got a YouTube channel, you can put a logo or a picture or something like that, some kind of a watermark. And I know it's 99.9% of YouTubers put a button that says subscribe. Okay. So I don't think I need a button on every single video and every single live stream that says subscribe, because if people like what I do, they'll subscribe. If they get bored of it, they'll unsubscribe. And I get people unsubscribe every day, but thankfully I get a lot more people subscribe. I am getting to the point, Shane. When I put out a video, I'm always guaranteed to get a lot of people unsubscribe because people get it and think, oh no, I don't want to watch that again, and they unsubscribe. But during the week following, more and more people discover you, and you get more people. But in answer to your question, Shane, I don't see it necessary, so I just put a nice picture there, and I thought, well, what can I put a picture of? Because it's a tiny little thing, and I just found a picture of a traditional Thai girl, which I bought the license to, not to own it, but to use it, and I just put that there because I thought she's a pretty girl, and I thought I'll make her my channel logo girl, if that makes sense. And if you watch the stories, you'll notice at the beginning, before I go into the green screen with a nice beach scene, she's always there. I'm talking, it says Thailand band, there's a girl with the flower, the white flower thing there, she's got an orange thing, and then when I finish the video, it goes back to her, and I've just made her my kind of unofficial channel logo. So I hope that answers your question, Shane. Marley has looks intelligent, brings a nice flair to the streams and vlogs. What more can I ask for? Oh, I've read that already. There, you got it twice. Dutch Frank, why we've read that right? Let's go backwards. Right, somebody's left me a super chat there. First one of the night. Steve P, thank you for that. Just sold my house, need to settle some health insurance and can move there. Thanks for the advice through the years. Okay, Steve, thanks for that. That'll get me a nice, I was going to say a 4-pack, but I don't drink anymore. What can I get for, I'll get a meal. I'll get a nice meal for it. Thank you very much. Anders Bergwans, Swedish money is so bad you can't even exchange it in Thailand. Oh, sorry to hear that. Right, let's go back up. Ben. Ben Whale, is it? Hello from Japan. Looking forward to my Thailand trip on Wednesday. Hope to see you in Bangkok. Yeah, okay. Well, give me a shout when you're here. Some people get upset when I don't meet them, and it's not like I keep saying over and over. It's not on purpose. Some people, like there's a guy in here, Jim. There's Bernie, Peter. There's a few, Jason, if he's watching. There's quite a few people. I've met them. They've just said, "Look, I'm in Bangkok. What are you doing tonight?" Or what are you doing this afternoon? I've looked. I thought, well, I'm not doing nothing, and I've gone and met them, and I've had a meal with them, or a drink, or just a coffee, or a walk around the park, and it's been great. I mean, Jim, who's on here, Jim Alpha, I spent 2 hours with him one afternoon. We walked up and down Sukhumvit, and I said, "Do you want to see my apartment?" And he said, "Yeah," and I showed him my apartment, and yeah, we had a nice afternoon. But the problem is sometimes I'm not free, and I'm either editing, I'm on a deadline, or I've got to get to somewhere. I've got hospital appointments all the time because of my leg, and I'm not sitting around here just doing nothing, drinking coffee. I have got a life, so I do like to meet people. But if one day you say, "Look, I'm in town, let's meet," and I don't take you up on it because for whatever reason, don't take it personally, because honestly it's just because I'm not doing nothing 24 hours a day, if that makes sense. Okay, let me just say hi to another. Oh, Shane, I thought you remember already. Became a YouTube member. Okay, welcome, Shane. Maybe you were and it ran out. I don't know. Crypto Chris card me too. That's from. Oh, look, someone started the ball off rolling. Sister George, I haven't seen you in for a long time, Sister George. You used to be a regular up to probably 6 months since the last seen you in, but good to see you in, and thanks for the $10 super chat there. Very, very appreciated. I used to do a lot of super chats when I was in England because I did this live stream on a Friday from 9 till midnight, and I'd have 500 in the stream because it was just that time of night, wasn't it? Everybody was having a drink, we're having a laugh. Sometimes the streams had gone for 3 hours, and then I'd do another one on Sunday, and I did really well. But since I've come out to Thailand, it's a little bit thin on the ground, but I'm thankful for what I get. So yeah, Sister George, thanks, and good to see you. More importantly, good to see you in the stream again. And if you've got any questions about Thailand, if you're coming out here and you want to know what's going on, even here in the stream, I can give you a brief explanation. It's something interesting to talk. Then we can do that. Right, let's go backwards. Tom Allen, do you have a favorite blogger in the Philippines or Latin America? Yeah, the one I like in the Philippines is called Filipina P. She's a girl. I dare say she's got a Farang boyfriend, but I'm not subscribed to her. But sometimes I see her and I watch half of a video. So if I've got time, I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos these days. Seamus Totti, do you not drink anymore? 4 days now, Seamus. You've obviously just come in, but I've abstained for 4 days. I'm planning not to drink for a while. I dare say people will challenge me when I meet them out and about, but I'll say no. There was a guy in Pattaya I met, really nice guy. I won't name him, but 10 o'clock in the morning, he real hardcore drink, and he was drinking big bottles of Chang, and I was sat drinking coffee with him or Diet Coke, and he was on his fourth bottle of Chang, the big ones, right? He was on his fourth bottle, and it was about 11:15. And I said to him, I've told you this story before. Let's just call him Clive. That wasn't his name, but I said, Clive, I said, I hope you don't think I'm being personal. It's none of my business, but aren't you worried about your health? I mean, you said you live here. He wasn't on holiday. I said, you've had 4 Changs. He said, no, I've had 6. I had 2 before you got here. And I'm like, well, how often do you drink? He said, I drink every day. He said, I woke up one day and I was yellow. I had to go to the doctor. I told you that story before, didn't I? But yeah, it's not the way to go. Not for me anyway. Robster says, I'm doing this. Something stuck there. What's that? I don't know. As soon as it hits 45, I'm going to convert more. Okay. We see that doesn't affect me now because I rarely convert UK pounds now because most of my money is here in Thailand. I've actually lost out because when I changed it, it was about 40 to 1, and now it's 44 to 1, isn't it? Okay, Barry Cole, thank you. I'm honoured. First time, Peter, no football, but watching cricket. Oh, I'm on the sideline, right? I'm trying to be discreet. I got a cornflake or something stuck there, and I did brush my teeth before I came on. Oh, someone's been very generous there. Let me just pick up on who that is. Uh, Jael Flanders, £20, daddy of story number 2. Oh, thank you, Jael, and thank you. I did see your email earlier. You did. You enjoyed listening to the story, so thanks for that. And it's a really generous super chat. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. I always try to. When I tell this story, I do edit them a little bit, but I try to keep the original form of the story. And it was a very good story. And, it's your story, so you can listen to it over and over again. I never used to put volume numbers on them. And people would come back to me after a month and say, oh, I want to watch my story again. What video was it? And I didn't know. That's why you've got all the volume. I'm up to volume 205 now. So I think it's five or 600 stories I've done. People keep writing to me and saying, "Hey, there's a guy who's telling stories just like you are, but he makes them all up." And I don't know who they mean, but I'm sure he doesn't make them all up. They'd have to be very, very clever. Ken Christopherson, thank you very much for that, Ken. Generous of you. Again, I keep saying the same thing, but I do appreciate you work hard for your money, and handed me a little bit of it is, very generous. Let me say hi to Glenn. Finally catching a live stream. Hi, Glenn. Good to have you in. I've missed a few people here, but I'm going to go backwards. Right, Robster, where did you stay in Pattaya? Well, I made a video about a year ago. Very nice hotel. I stay in the Flipper Lodge. Sorry, get it wrong way around. I stay in the Flipper House, which is on Soy 7. It's just down from Nick Dean's bar. Well, he's got so many bars around there now, hasn't he? The yellow and black striped ones. And it's called the Flipper House. I get the standard room. It was 900 baht. Sometimes high season it'll go up to maybe 1600 baht, but it's always clean. That's what I like about it. Breakfast is included. It's a smallish room, but it's compact. It's got everything you need, and it's very clean. But not to be confused with the Flipper House, which no, hang on. Flipper House is Soy 7. What's the other Flipper in Soy 8? Flipper Lodge. So you've got the Flipper Lodge in Soy 8 and you've got the Flipper House in Soy 7. I've stayed in both. I wouldn't go back to the other one because it was just okay. But the Flipper House in Soy 7, I stay there every time. It's great. For a budget hotel, I mean, I'm not saying it's the best hotel in Pattaya, but I like to spend 1,000, 1,200 baht on a room. That's it. Right. Mike Braithwaite, I'll watch her too. Right, Aussie Rose, how are you doing? Hi, Peter. Did you ever learn the issue with your leg? Not yet. I think it's related to the foot. It is getting better, but it's taking a long time to get better. And I think the alcohol. I was reading a lot of things about it, and even alcohol can affect it, bring on varicose veins and all sorts. Don't forget, I'm 63 now. I'm not 23. I'm not. I haven't got one foot in the grave yet, but Seamus. Okay, I read that. Robster Chronos. Okay. Right, I think it's time to show you a few. Broadcast Dave. Hey, what's happening? It's live stream, Dave. That's what's happening. Right. Let me show you a few older pictures. Now, some of these were out of a montage about 18 months ago, but these are just separate pictures. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 vintage pictures here. 4 are from Pattaya, and one is. I'll explain it to you when we get to it. It's from 1968. If you wonder what I'm looking at. It's called the aircon. Right. Okay. So let me show you. This is Pattaya, and I think these first few pictures were taken in the early 80s. You've probably seen this one before. So there's Pattaya Bay, not a high-rise building in sight, and in fact, you've even got a couple of piers there. If you look at the middle of the picture, you can see there's. It looks. Well, they're piers, aren't they? Obviously, pleasure boats pulled in there to pick up passengers and stuff. But I think it's quite interesting because if that picture's I know where it's taken from. You know the big Buddha up in Pattaya, where the big Buddha is. They've got a cafe up there, haven't they? It's out of the big Buddha, but you know where we mean, right? Or it could even be from around where the Pattaya sign is, looking down over the bay. And they've just got so many high rises along there now. So this has got to be going back to what, late 70s, early 80s. I did show you this one quite a while ago as well. Now this is taken from the Raj Hotel. On Sukhumvit Soy 4 opposite the Nana Plaza Hotel. Now, obviously, they were on the left side. If you're coming out of Nana, looking at the coming out of Nana Plaza, looking at the Nana Hotel. But how do we know it's Soy 4? Because if you look down to the left, where that green pickup truck is, just above there's a sign that says Heidelberg. Well, we know where the Heidelberg is. Or was. I don't know if it's still there, even though I'm down there quite a bit. But that's what that is. So, and you can see how long ago it is. Just look at the cars down there, and not a freelancer in sight. Now, this one here, this is obviously a Thai mum and her daughter, and I think you know what general kind of region where that is in Pattaya, because that hotel there is where the what's it called? The Dusit Thani is, where the Dusit Thani is in Pattaya. I believe that's the same. Might not be the same hotel, but the same location. And that's in the days when the American Navy used to come in. They'd park offshore, and then is that the right way to say? No, anchor offshore, and then they'd let off Liberty boats that would bring sailors across, and the girls would make a lot of money. All the vendors would make a lot of money, and that's it. Now this last picture, well, it's not the last one, second to last one. This is very interesting. Now this is obviously a bar girl, a very old picture from, I'd say, what do you reckon, early 80s. If you look at the dress, the way she's got her belt and it's tucked up at the bottom, I can remember when that fashion was around. It was probably 82 to 85. So that picture's got to be somewhere in the region of 45 years old. What would you say she is in the picture there? 23, 25? Where is she today? Did she have a good life? She's probably 65, 70 now. Obviously, she was making money on that one night. You can see she's a little bit shy from her face. Where is she now? Is she in some village in Isan with a family? Did she have a good life? Okay, and let's finish off with this one, which was sent to me just yesterday, I believe, by Darren Drew, and you should recognise that when I explain it to you. Now, if you, that's the main Sukhumvit Road, and the side road right there, that is actually Sukhumvit Soi 4, where the policeman is. Obviously, later on, they realised, hey, this is somewhere where we need the police permit, and they built the police box, which is there today. But before that police box was there was a rickety old metal thing, which I've shown before, which must have been very, very hot. And it's quite interesting. The policeman's hat there, that was before they introduced the original, well, the actual police uniform that they have today. He's actually got a straw hat on there, which would have been a little bit more nicer in the sun. But you can see there, you can see the definite juncture there, and you can even see, if you look very, very carefully, in the middle of the picture, there's a black sign on the post there, and to the right, you can quite clearly see, I think it's a 4, indicating that it is Soi 4, but not a freelancer or a motorbike taxi in sight. But there you go. Not too many old photographs about. Hope you found them interesting. Okay. Right, soy sauce cowboy. That's where the elephants used to hang out. Yeah, I didn't like that when they did that with the elephants. If you don't know what he's talking about, that's that's in the days when they'd bring a baby elephant around the end round Nana, and you have it on a hook. You have a bag of bananas, and tourists would feed the bananas to the elephant. The government actually banned that now, which is really, really good. I thought it was quite cruel myself. Phil T, I can see holding Kingswood behind the bus. Okay, see. I was laughing, but is that a serious comment? I can see holding Kingswood behind the bus. Let me get that back up because I'm not sure what that is. Holding Kingswood behind the bus. Well, there's 2 buses there. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that is anyway. Okay. Soy sauce cowboy. That was, yeah. Okay. Brad Hamilton. The lady in the picture still works on soy bacao. Yeah. Okay. I bet she brought her prices down. She looked very nervous, didn't she? Let's get her back up there just for a second. Doesn't she look nervous? Like, she's obviously like smiling for the camera, but very, very nervous. Very nervous. Okay. Wouldn't it be funny if I got an email from her tomorrow and say, you showed my picture up on YouTube. You shouldn't have done it. I'd try and interview her. I'd get her. I'd love to find a 65-year-old, 70-year-old woman who was a bar girl in Pattaya when she was 20 and could prove it. I'd love to interview her and ask her what it was like then to now. Mick Brown, moderation, always 64 now, but been many times Kalma area. Only little one, 10 years old Thai Welsh, but got her over here. Okay. Getting hot flushes here with this aircon. Okay. MB, Patty's most famous expat passed away. Rest in peace, Joe Linda. Is it Linda or Linda? We say Patty's most famous expat. I've never heard of him, honestly. Who was he? Shane Heidelberg, yeah, you remember the Heidelberg? I don't know. It was there very recently, before COVID. I don't know if it's still there. Yeah, Google user says, I love those old photographs. Somebody, when a YouTuber in 70 years' time is making videos about Thailand and he's saying, I've got some old pictures, he'll have like days of pictures, right? But, back then you had to carry a Brownie camera or something like that, and not everybody did. So it's so hard to find those old pictures. And even if you did have a camera, who'd stand on the corner of Soy 4 and take a picture of buses? They're really hard to come by. Um, Right, Reggae Vibes. The talk with Dan does stories too. Somebody sent one you read and resent to him. You were mentioned in the line. Okay, fair enough. I got nothing against the guy. I don't really know him. I haven't watched any of his stuff, but I get people write to me and say things, and I'll leave it at that. Right, Anders Bergman, Swedish clone is rocking. Okay. Joe Dirt, what's your favorite thing about living in Bangkok? Oh, Joe, I need like a year to tell you everything, everything. There's so many plus points about living in the UK. I mean, even if you leave my personal out of it, that video I made about me moving here has had 100,000 viewings in about 6 weeks. Really, I didn't think people were that interested in, what happened to me, but they were apparently. And I shouldn't be doing that, should I? Cleaning my screen with a little brush, a little second screen. Um, yeah, no, I mean, okay, let's try and break it down. Not personal things, just what do I like better about Bangkok or Thailand better than the UK? Okay, one, the weather's much nicer. Okay, it's hot and sometimes you're dripping. You have to take 3 showers a day, but it's great. It's better than being freezing your nuts off all the time. Okay, the food, you know what the food's like. The food's great. Even though Western food here is great, the people are more polite. The infrastructure, the buzz of Pattaya and Bangkok and Hua Hin and just the whole thing about it, people walk around with a smile on their face, and I just enjoy it so much more. I just think it's a great place to live, and I feel privileged that I'm able to live here because I know a lot of guys they'll either write and say, "Oh, you're very lucky because I haven't got the money to do what you're doing," or they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm not old enough to get a retirement visa," or "My kids haven't grown up. I wish I was there." So, it's been a long time coming, but I do feel very privileged that I'm able to live out here. Um, One thing that's kind of bothering me now is like I did mention this last week if you weren't in the stream, but that I've got a feeling I'm going to have to move out of here in December, and I really like this one-bedroom apartment. I'm paying 20,000 baht a month for it, but I'll give you the short version from what I said last week. I met an Australian guy in the elevator, and he was moving out, and I said, "Don't you like it?" He said, "I love it." He said, "I love it. It's like home to me. He's got the same as me, same apartment, 20,000 a month, and he loved it, and he's moving out." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, my 1 year lease came to the end, and they're putting the rent up." And I'm thinking, what was it, 2,000, 4,000? They put his rent up from 20,000 baht a month to 38,000 baht a month. That's an increase of like 83%, nearly double. He's now found himself a Soy 41. He said he's gone down to. He's found himself a nice apartment on the 23rd floor, unobstructed views across the city. He's paying 23,000 a month for that. He said to the guy, how can you put the rent up from 20,000 to 2038? And he said, "Oh, that was COVID prices. Now everything's back to normal." So I've got a feeling that could happen to me, and it's not such a bad thing. I mean, I've got a suitcase full of clothes. I've now got some bits that I've bought. I've bought a small oven and what else have I bought? Not much really, but I've got some bits and pieces, 55-inch screen TV. And if I have to move, I have to move. But it just doesn't make sense to me because the buildings manager said they've got plenty of apartments here, but they're laying empty for months because they're just asking stupid money. They think people are banging the door down with their checkbooks open. "Let me in. I want to live there." But here's a guy who's been paying his 20,000 month in, month out, no complaints, no problems, doesn't smoke, probably drinks, and now the place is empty, and it's going to stay empty for at least who knows. So I think I'm going to be moving in. When my lease is up here, beginning of December. Um, yeah, Damon, uh, rent the Flipper House suite. Yeah, that was lovely. That suite of yours. Talking about the Flipper House, like Damon, he's got some wedge that Damon, uh, but he rents a junior suite. They have one on each floor, and they're really nice apartments. You walk in, there's a big lounge area, and I mean big, a big balcony. There's a nice big bedroom with a sofa. It's 2,700 baht a night. Well, if you're going there on vacation and it's going to cost you what's that 2,700? So that's about I don't know £65 a night for a junior suite, and you're going for a week. Then why not enjoy it? So you treat yourself. But when you live here full time, you've got to. I'm not poor, but on the other hand, I'm not. I'm not Jackie Onassis. I've got to watch my pennies. So, a 900 baht a night room, which is clean and comfortable, is enough for me, But they are, if you can afford it, check out those suites at the Flipper House. They're really nice and not over the top money wise. Um, right, Marley's favorite banana. Hey, God almighty. Right. Hey, Peter, do they still have soy dogs in Bangkok and Pattaya? They do. They do. And some Pat put out a video recently. He got bitten by a soy dog. There doesn't seem to be as many. I'll tell you what I've noticed. I don't know if this is just due to all the floods and COVID and everything, or they've made a concerted effort. But I remember back in the 90s, you always seen rats in Bangkok, and cockroaches. Now, I've seen cockroaches running around, and I've seen the odd rat, especially in Pattaya, that hotel I was at. Oh, my God. But, generally speaking, the only rat I've seen, I was walking around the park one night, and a rat ran across the path. I guess it just wanted to get from one side to the other. But apart from that, you used to see rats. You walk at night, you see rats coming out of drains, and I just haven't seen them anymore. It's not that I love rats and I want to see them, but I've noticed, and I'm thinking, have the government done something and made a concerted effort to get rid of these rats, or where have they gone? And because also I noticed with the cockroaches, you just don't see them like you used to. These Sukhumvit Road, they'd be all over the place, big things like horrible. But you see the odd one, but I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me. Jeremy, Mike, how you doing? No, I was soy cat. Okay, Paul Hoskins. Are there any dolphins there? Only at the end, only on the dolphin roundabout, Paul and Patia. Dean Isat, when you live here, you have a budget. I made a video about it recently, dear. The video was called "How Much Do I Spend to Live in Thailand?" Something like that. There's two Thai girls on the front of it. Not, I know it's strange for me to put a picture of a sexy Thai girl on a thumbnail, but I thought I'll break the rule, and I did that time. I'm at the moment, because I'm not scrimping and saving. I'm spending about 70,000 baht a month. I've got a car, I've got a scooter, but I think that's going to come down to about 60,000 because I've stopped drinking alcohol. But you could live out here on less than that if you wanted to do it on a budget. David Pipe, hello from Las Vegas. Haven't been able to join the streams for a while, busy with work. Good to have you in tonight anyway, David. Las Vegas, what a place. I remember going there, had a good time. Mick Brown, it seems rent I paid long years ago, condominium Pattaya. But you can't, a lot of people say this to me. They say, oh, that's expensive. You can get the same apartment for 12,000 in Pattaya, but you're not comparing like for like, are you? Because I'm in the capital city, and not only am I in the capital city, I'm in the heart of it. I'm in Sukhumvit, prime real estate. I've got a huge swimming pool on the roof. I've got a gym. The apartment's luxury, great security, parking for my bike and my car. The BTS is just Nana BTS, literally just near my street here. You're paying for location, so you just can't compare it to Pattaya. I mean, you could go one further, couldn't you? That you could say to the guy who's got the 12,000 baht apartment in Pattaya, oh, well, you're getting ripped off because he lived in some village in Isan that's surrounded by nothing but buffaloes. You could get a house on stilts for 2,000 baht a month. But, where does it end? You pay for what you get, don't you? Um, Martin Ryder says, Flipper House sounds interesting in more ways than one. You might have to scroll through the videos, but I did make a video about the Flipper House. I'll show you the room, and they've got two swimming pools as well, by the way. Dear Isan, when you live here, you have oh, I just read that out. Yeah, okay. Right. Let's go back and see if some of the. I'm trying to find some of these older ones that I might have missed out. Naughty boy. Joe Dirt, there's so many garbage cans to sleep in. You would be in paradise. Not sure what that's about. Okay, Robster. Okay, Joe, a popular German bodybuilder and Patty, died of a heart attack, age 30. Ouch, ouch. That's what scares me. I'm always having lots of tests on my blood and heart, and I take medicine now. Okay. Ken, maybe a dumb question. Can you send a super chat when you're not live? That's an interesting question. I honestly don't know. I don't think you can, no. I think you have to be. I'm just guessing, but I don't think you can, no. Uh, but I don't know is the honest truth. Hi, Rumble. How you doing? Okay, naughty boy, you're saying behind the bus. Yes, that's a Holding Kingsford. Oh, a Holding. It's an Australian car, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't click when you said it. I was looking at. Is it a club? Is it a nightclub? Whatever. But now you've said that, I understand. I know it's a famous Australian car. Being British, even I know that. Um, Holding Kingswood, yeah, that's it. Christ, you haven't been. Yeah, I don't. I'll take it you haven't been to Thailand. Then what is Terminal 21? Terminal 21 is a shopping mall in the heart of Sukhumvit, and they've got one in Pattaya as well. I don't say Pattaya anymore because I've been taught by Marley how to say it properly. It's Pattaya with a little gap in the middle, which I can't do. Um, right, Barry Cole. Um, Peter, can you get a condo for 3 months or is the minimum 6 months? It's not 6 months, it's 12 months. If you want to take out a condominium lease, it's a 12 months lease. If you want to take less than that, there is Airbnb. You can do short-term um, kind of leases, but not at condo prices. To get a proper like apartment as an apartment anywhere else in the world, you would need to sign a minimum of a 1 year lease. You can understand why, can't you? Hence the deposit, or else if they didn't have the deposit, people would say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to stay for a year," and they'd just skip, wouldn't they? Richard, Peter, you're kind of lonely without Marley. Not really, because she's a nice girl, but sometimes trying to do a stream with her can be, a challenge. Let's just say a challenge, to say the least. Right, Damon again. I thought you weren't going to be here, Damon. I thought you were going to be busy. I love buffaloes. They are everywhere in my village. They will be my neighbours soon when house is finished. Country, like you want to get a couple in, but go Thai all the way. Instead of that plan you show me, build it on stilts and keep a couple underneath. So just when they start pissing and shitting, you can get that country smell when you're off to sleep. Nice house Damon's building. Right, Red Null, thinking of visiting. Don't see many black faces in your videos. Well, why would you not see? What was that? I don't see many black faces in your videos. Well, I can't force black people to be in front of the camera if I'm in a shopping mall. If I'm walking through, then you know. Um, I did actually interview a black guy. I'm going to get told off now because people are like, "Oh, you don't use that word anymore." I made a video and there was a guy. He was telling me a story about when he came to Thailand. Man of color, is it right? And he was saying he had a great time when he came to Thailand because the people were just not racist here. They're not racist. They do call colored people. They'll call them chocolate man or chocolate lady, and that's not meant in a horrible way. Thais just call it how they see it, and they don't think about uh, you know how we construed it in the West. So if you are, I don't know how you say it. In England we just say coloured people, but I've had people come back to me from America and say, "Oh, that's terrible, disgusting. You can't say that anymore. That's racist." And but I'm the most least racist person in the world. I was married to a Korean for 30 years. I've spent half my life in the Far East and the Middle East. So racism is not what I'm about. But sometimes you can be called racism because of how you describe things. But like I say, in the UK, we'll say coloured people. That's just normal for us, right? But apparently in America, it's not normal. And I forgot why I'm telling you this. That's right. I made a video. A guy sent me in a story, and he was a coloured guy, and he basically said he was amazed that when he came here, how friendly the people were. There was no racism apart from that. That term that they use, the ties. He said he had a wonderful time, and and he told other people in the video, if you want to come here, come and enjoy it. People are really kind. Right, let's wait for these comments to come in now about what I've just said. Right, Joe, I'm not a racist, but right, Mick Brown, Sadika South Thailand Buffalo's beautiful. Okay, Nick S, if you see the black PPL in Thailand, stay where you are. I'm not even sure what that means, Nick. Um, uh, who's calling himself Marley's Banana Boy here? Hey, Pete, any chance you could do a video on the Pattaya Marathon running on July 23rd? I don't think I'm going to do that. You know why? Because there must be like 20,000 YouTubers in Pattaya, and they'll all be doing the Pattaya Marathon. So for me to go down there and make a special effort to film it, is it going to be a big thing? I don't think so. Paul Hoskins, I'm not reading that out. Right. Boulder Dan. The back and forth between Marley and you is kind of fun to listen to, at least in my opinion. It makes the streams engaging. Well, it's only once every 2 weeks, isn't it? And she's fun, you know. And she's local. Let's face it, at the end of the day, we're all foreigners. She's a local, but she's switched on. And, I can ask her anything off camera, anything I want to know. She'll tell me. Um, right. All right. Where are we? Paul Hoskins, I'm not ugly, but I am. Mick Brown, Thailand never colonized by West. Good people, no doubt, on the whole. Yeah, they haven't. Thailand's never been colonized, but they were very kind of welcoming to the Japanese in the Second World War, so they weren't colonized. No. Um, there is actually a very good video on YouTube. I must try and find it. I watched it. It's about 30 minutes long, but it's all to do with why they weren't colonized, and it was to do with the French and British colonizers at that time, because the French were on the west side of Thailand and or was it the other way around? No, it was either the French were on the west and the English were on the east, or vice versa, and Thailand was in the middle, and they had both countries had quite a bit of colony on each side, and Thailand actually divided them, and they kind of had an unwritten not an unwritten rule. It was kind of like a something that they both agreed it wouldn't be a good idea to take Thailand, because then the other side would get nervous about that side being too close. It's a good video. Try and find it. Just you know what to type into YouTube. British on the west, says Martin Ryder. North, south, east. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, that makes sense, because Vietnam was a French colony, which is on the east, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Brian, what's a typical day for you now in Thailand? You're probably most settled in by now. A typical day, it depends what day it is. I can tell you exactly what a day is on Saturday. It's my busiest day of the week. So I wake up, have a bit of breakfast, get straight on here, edit the stories, which takes me till about 2 in the afternoon. I then record them, and then I have to edit the recording. That takes me up to about 6 o'clock at night, have my dinner, and then I have a little bit of a break. I might go to the swimming pool to get some exercise, come down, and then set up the live streams and everything, make sure they're all ready. I'm on here at 9 till about 12 o'clock. And then that's my Saturday. Sunday is the only day of the week I try to not even turn on the computer. I don't do YouTube. I don't do anything. I might answer the odd comment on my mobile phone, but I try to keep Sundays for myself, which is why I don't have I don't. I used to. I prefer to do live streams on a Sunday, but the fact that Simon on a Sunday is off and he does a roast, he does a proper roast, English roast, and he always invites me over. And I don't always go over, but it's nice for me because I can get into a family environment. You know, his wife's there, his 3 sons, their girlfriends. He lives out half an hour away, so for me, it's a nice way to get away from this sort of side of life. Just go over there on the motorbike or the car. So that's why Sundays I don't do anything. As far as in the week, Monday to Friday, generally what I'll do is in the day I'll wake up, have a bit of breakfast. I like to maybe go out in the morning somewhere, do a bit of shopping in Big C or Villa. I might have a hospital appointment, or just do something in the morning where I'm actually out. Come back, strip down to the shorts, work on YouTube. I might go out and do a video, like on Wednesday I'll be going out to do a video, and then in the evening I'll come back, have a swim, maybe have dinner. I'll work till 9 o'clock on here. Then I'd go and just settle down, watch a bit of TV, have a drink, and then go to bed. And that's it, basically. Nothing overly exciting, but I won't be having a drink anymore. If you've come in late, I've given up alcohol, uh, which I'm on day 4 now. It should get easier now. Um, Right, Bernie. Bernie, Peter, post-election, when will the new government be formed and start their work? Oh, that you'd need a 3-hour video just to get started on that one, Bernie. Dino J, good day, Peter. Good day to you, Gino. Soy Dog, hi, Peter. If you didn't have your YouTube channel, would you get bored or would you do other things? If I didn't have the YouTube channel, I'd do other things. I've got options actually. I often get, because I lived out here for a long time and people know me, I often, believe it or not, I often get job offers where, um, I'll give you an example. For instance, I know people who have a few Airbnb properties. They own a few flats, a few apartments, but they live abroad, and they want somebody to take care of them. And I'm out here, and they'll say, look, I'll give you, just this. I wouldn't have to clean them or do anything like that. I just have to arrange things. When someone moves out, people offer me stuff all the time. I've had people offer me to invest money into bars in Pattaya. That's the last thing I'd want to do in the world. I wouldn't want to run a bar in Pattaya. At least doing YouTube, I've got flexibility. But yeah, I'd do something else. I'm not sure yet. Simon's got several things I could do for him. I don't want to get into them now. They're whatever they are. It wouldn't be like a job where I have to go in at 9 in the morning till 5. They'd have Thai managers, but I'd have to oversee, like a kind of an area manager. So I might spend 2 hours a day just, getting on the scooter, going to a location, checking everything's okay, look at the books. Yep, that's fine. Go to another location, and that's it. Quite an easy life, really. But being out here for so long as I have, and known a lot of people. Very often, I'd say at least once a month, if not twice a month, I do get an opportunity where somebody will say to me, "Look, you're out here already. You're not doing it." They don't understand YouTube. They think if I put out a half an hour video, that's all I do, half an hour a week. If I put a 1 hour live stream, I'm only on YouTube for 1.5 hours a week. They don't understand that the stories, for instance, take me 6, 7 hours. Doing all this and monetizing it afterwards. It's just a full-time job. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't sit around doing nothing. But on the other side of the coin, there's no way I'd want a full-time job out here. If I had to do a full-time job, I'd go back to the UK, drive a taxi or something like that, just have an easy life. Okay. Uh, Joe Pett. Hi, Peter. I'm bringing my family to Bangkok. Which area would you recommend to stay? It depends what you want to do, Joe. I mean, there's lots of, it's like how long is a piece of string? I mean, what do you want to do when you come here? You're going to go and look at the Grand Palace. I think the most important thing is if you come in with your family, just make sure you get a nice hotel that's got nice facilities, a nice big pool that the kids can use, restaurants, places you can hang out in the hotel. When you've got a family, okay, you go out on day trips. When you come back, you might come back at 4 o'clock. The kids are not ready to turn in, as it were. And, your wife might want a couple of hours nap upstairs or yourself. And, there's a nice big pool, the kids can hang out and stuff. But it's really hard to say stay in this area or stay in that area because everywhere's got shopping malls and cinemas and you know I'd probably say a tourist area, because if you stay way out on the edge of the city, a lot of the places they don't speak English. So yeah, I mean, just do your research somewhere, a kind of a tourist area, but obviously not a red light area, that's for sure. But just like I say, the best bit of advice I'd give you is just get a good family hotel, where there's a lot to do for the kids clubs and things like that. um What is that, Darcy? Can you do that thing with the throat? Is that where you go into a bar and the girl wants a drink? She'll go, they don't say, "Can you buy me a drink?" They come up to you and they go, it's like, cough. Uh, right. Right. There are loads of US black dudes in Pattaya with YouTube channels. Yeah, and there's one who even calls himself Chocolate Man. Um, there's a couple of good ones down there, actually. Um, okay. I keep skipping between the older ones and the newer ones because I'm trying not to miss people because people get upset if I don't read out their comments, but it's hard to pick up on all of them. Right. Damon, Sunday is me and Peter abusing each other, laugh out loud. The old days, yeah. Well, before when I was going through a hard time with my marriage in the UK, and Damon was kind of depressed because he couldn't get over to see his Tirac here in. I've only just found out it's Tirac with an R, not Tilac. It's Tirac, okay. Marley told me that. She says it's Tirac, not Tilac. But anyway, off the subject. So Damon couldn't get out here because of COVID. He's been with his girlfriend for 16 years. He couldn't see her for a couple of years. I was pissed off because what was going on at home. And I used to walk my dog about an hour 30 minutes to an hour. We just got into the habit of calling every night and talking to each other and talking about Thailand. And yeah, it was quite therapeutic. The only thing for Damon is he'd just got home from work, so it was a bad time for him. Joe Pett, how you doing? Aussie Rules. Sorry, did you say what was the problem with your leg? I don't actually know Aussie Rules because I went out doing I'm going to repeat myself now, but I went out to do a film with Bangkok Pat, and he's a walker, right? And we walked around all day, and my foot swelled up, and it stayed swelled up for about a month, and then my knee, not the knee, but the muscle in the side started hurting a lot, and it still does. And I think it's something to do related to that. I went to hospital. They did blood tests, urine tests. All my organs are okay because normally if you have a swollen foot or leg, it's related to something deeper. You could have cirrhosis of the liver, you could have a heart disease, you could have kidney disease, but all mine came back okay. So she said the next thing is to try a blood clot test, but she said she's pretty sure I haven't got a blood test. And the cost of it was about the two tests I needed in Med Park, the hospital I go to in Ramapo, was 40,000 baht, £1,000. I thought, no, I'll leave it for a while. So she gave me some medicine to take the pain away, which I don't always take. And generally, when I wake up in the morning, my leg's fine. And as I walk about during the day, it starts to ache again. But I'm going to give it a few more weeks. And if it isn't mended by then, and I'm hoping the lack of alcohol will do something as well, because I've stopped drinking now, as you know, for 4 days. So it's too early. But I did research on the internet, and drinking can lead to a lot of illnesses, So I'll wait a while. Poorly Buffalo, I don't see much of him, to be honest with you. I watch the odd video of his. Um, we used to be fairly good friends. We don't see each other too much these days. Um, Denny, Danny J, still you having time off the booze? Are you going to get some fitness happening? I've got to get my legs sorted out first, Danny. But yeah, I can still swim on my leg, and I do enjoy it. You know, some nights I'm sitting here at 5 o'clock and I'm thinking, oh, I can't be bothered going to the swimming pool. But I force myself. And once I'm in the water and I start swimming, I'm like, yeah, this is nice. And I end up doing, 10 laps on a 75 foot. It's a real long swimming pool. Right. So sometimes I get swung off because I look at comments. I'm thinking, oh, is this a real or is this a bit strange? Right. Okay. Mick Brown. Plenty to experience in Bangkok. Sleep in Buddha, wonderfully, Grand Palace. Yeah, just to the guy who was saying what to do in Bangkok. I don't know if you've been here before, but if you go to the Grand Palace and somebody approaches you and says it's closed today because it's a Thai praying day or they're decorating or whatever, it's a load of bullshit. The next thing they'll say is, well, I've got my tuk-tuk friend here waiting for you, and he's going to take you to some even better temples. And actually, it's not changed. It's a scam. Okay, Damon again. If the girls do the cough thing, I always offer them a what's tablet? Strepsils tablet. Okay. On a serious note, though, apparently there is some kind of bad flu going around again now. It's not COVID, but somebody sent me something today about keeping your throat moist. It's getting quite widespread apparently. Bernie, let's put that up there. Is there any talk whatsoever that the entry visa may again revert back to 40 days to further boost the inflow of tourism? None at all, Bernie. It was a promotion for 6 months. It worked. A lot of people, millions and millions of people. It's back to pre-COVID, just about. They're not going to bring it back in. There's no talk of it. They don't need to bring it in. They're getting the same number of tourists virtually in, and even more from certain countries. Richard. Peter, have you tried Voltaren cream on your painful leg? I've got so many bloody creams. I can't remember the names of them, but no, I haven't. I don't think, or I might have done it. I'll have to keep a note of your comment. Gino J says yes. Swimming is great if you want to keep off your legs. Yeah, and I find actually my knee is less painful when I when I have been swimming. It hurts a little bit when I start, but generally. It gets better. God, you've got a lot of usernames. Me so horny, me love Peter too much. Damien, too late. I already offered him a banana. How many usernames have you got? Right, Franco. Okay, so hi to Capio if you're in the stream. Oh, there you are. There, look. Good evening. Yeah, you're always in for a few minutes. I'm actually got 2 minutes left, Capio, but I'll be back in 50 minutes for the member stream. I did see one of your videos released yesterday. I nearly got to watch it, but something come up. Right, where are we? Let me just get rid of this. I'll try and find some more old photographs for you for next week, but they're really hard to find, Mick Brown, crossover Thailand into Laos. Okay. Right, guys, I think that's it. Now we've been going for the hour and a half, just about. Let me just see if I can catch a few more comments before we go, and then I'll be back for the members stream. Capio says, yeah, I'll be there for the members. So remind me, guys, I got pissed. I drank a whole bottle of whiskey in Thailand. I left the hotel and I did some naughty stuff in Pattaya, got myself in trouble. And I don't want to mention that in the general stream, but if you remind me, not right at the beginning, but if you remind me, say 15 minutes into the member stream, I'll tell you what happened. It was a bit brutal. And of course, we've got the Ladyboy competition, we've got the Manga Minute, and just generally every single comment gets answered because there's less people obviously to deal with, but it's been a good stream. 230 at the moment. That's the 1.5 hours. So I'm going to take a little break. Normally last week, what I'd be doing now, I'd be going to the fridge, cracking open a big bottle of Leo's, having a swig of whiskey, getting all set, and it's drinking time. But I've given up drinking, as you know, and I'm just going to have to settle with a nice glass of water and a pee, as they say. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully a lot of you, hopefully I'll see in the next 15 minutes, and if not, next week. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon. All I want.